Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back again to lecture 7, series 3, where we are now discussing about Islamic ethic of management, principles, standards, and then practice. In this series 3, we are going to discuss on management practices in Islam. The essentiality of proper management is categorically stated in the Holy Quran and systematically implemented by the great planner and manager, the Prophet Muhammad SAW, in all his endeavors. He secretly planned for his companions to migrate to Abyssinia when they were subjected to different kinds of torture in Mecca. He planned his journey to Yathrib, Medina, as well as tasked Ali bin Abi Talib to remain on his bed and return goods which were kept with him to their respective owners. Almighty Allah commands every soul to plan for his or her future. Al-Quran says, meaning, O ye who believe, fear Allah and let every soul look to what provision He has sent forth to the morrow. Yea, fear Allah, for Allah is well acquainted of all that ye do. Al-Hashr, verse 18. Al-Quran also talks about self-security, meaning make ready for them all you can of armed force and the tether of horses. Thereby you will dismay the enemy of Allah and your enemy. Al-Anfal, verse 60. Islam recommends that a mission should be set to achieve the vision. The vision will only remain an illusion if the plan is lacking. Planning can further be divided into many divisions such as strategic planning, contingency planning, tactical planning, and so on and so forth. Planning necessitates four basic principles. One is planning for the future, two, rational usage of resources, three, consultation, and four, fairness to others. Planning for the future. Planning for the future based on previous experience to avoid failure. Previous experience can be either direct or indirect. In the former, it may mean what has happened to the manager himself or herself, while the latter means incidents that others have gone through. This can be seen in the Quranic verse in the challenging tone, meaning, did they not travel through the earth and see what was the end of those before them? Al-Fatir, verse 44, and also you can find it in Surah Ghafir, verse 82. Two, rational usage of resources. The management should be able to recognize the company's or firm's resources and systematically plan their usage to achieve the desired goals. Al Quran asks, meaning, do you not see that Allah has subjected to your use all things in the heaven and on earth and has made His bounties flow to you in exceeding measure, both seen and unseen? Surah Luqman, verse 20. 3. Consultation. The manager must consult others before a decision is made. This is, in other words, known as participative leadership or management. The decision that others or subordinates actively participate in taking, such a decision, will be easy to implement. Allah directly commands the manager to engage others in decision making, as He says, meaning consult them in affairs. Surah Al Imran, verse 159. Likewise, He praises those who engage in the practice, meaning who conduct their affairs in mutual consultation. Surah Ash-Shura, verse 38. 4. Fairness to others. Fairness to others is another ethics of planning in management. It relates to the sense of justice and justice to oneself and others. There should be a balanced approach to the distribution of tasks, responsibilities, as well as resources. The management should ensure that no extra burden is enforced upon the workers. There should not be enslavement or exploitation. Al-Quran says meaning, on no soul does Allah place a burden greater than it can bear. Al-Baqarah verse 286. Prophet ﷺ says, your servants and slaves are your brothers. Allah has put them in your care. So feed them with what you eat and clothe them with what you wear. And do not burden them beyond their capacities. But if you burden them with an unbearable burden, then help them by sharing their extra burden. The Prophet ﷺ had also carefully adopted the division of labor, where he divided the tasks among his companions when executing plans to migrate to Medina. He assigned Abu Bakr radiallahu anh to arrange the traveling requirements. Asma radiallahu anha was given the responsibility of providing sustenance. Abdullah bin Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was assigned the role of intelligence, reading, and work as an informant. He had to investigate the Quraysh plan and secretly convey it to the Prophet ﷺ in the cave. Other people were also assigned different tasks which led to the successful implementation of the plan. The principle was practiced to achieve proper execution. The direction of administrative activities, planning, and integration of the competency in managing the new Islamic state established in Medina. Umar ibn al-Khattab also engaged in the division of labor during his leadership. Umar al-Khattab is one of his public in one of his public sermons says, he who wants to ask about matters concerning the Quran should approach Muaz ibn Jabal. He who wants to ask for money should approach me, for Allah Almighty has made me a treasurer and distributor. The concept of specialization and its practice is clearly shown in the quoted sermon. Ibn Khaldun encourages a specialization and division of labor to increase production and create wealth for large population. He said, a single individual is incapable of satisfying his needs by himself, but must cooperate with other members of society. The product of such cooperative labor will exceed by far the needs of the group. Thus, in the production of wheat, for example, we do not see each individual providing for his own needs. Rather, we see 6 or 10 persons cooperating. A blacksmith, a carpenter to repair tools, an ox tender, a man to plough the soil, and another to reap the grain, and so forth for the different kinds of agriculture work, each man specializing in one operation. The result of such cooperative labor is to produce a quantity of food which is sufficient for many times the number of a person engaged in the work. Organizations are usually effective if they can implement good teamwork. Allah Almighty cherishes team or collective works, as He says in the Holy Quran, meaning, truly, truly Allah loves those who fight in His cause in the battle array as if they were solid cemented structure. As-Saf verse 4. Al-Quran also encouraged Muslims to hold firmly in any situation and not be mutually separated, meaning, and hold fast altogether by the rope which Allah stretches out for you, and be not divided among yourself. Al-Imran verse 103. For teamwork to serve its purpose, there must be a conducive environment in upholding ethical values. There must be a provision of a favorable environment where every individual, segment, or department feels a sense of belonging and believes that each one of them is an asset to the company, corporation, or organization. Based on that, the individual or specialist will work together in harmony and peace. The concept of brotherhood, unity, and togetherness should prevail. The presence of these will strengthen teamwork and yield outstanding output. This is called unity of direction, whereby all efforts of an individual, group, or segment in the organization should be coordinated and focused in one direction. Al Quran says, meaning, the believers are but a single brotherhood, so make peace and reconciliation between your two contending brothers, and fear Allah that ye may receive mercy. Al Hujurat verse 10. Conclusion. In a nutshell, Islam is a comprehensive divine system that practices the basic principle and philosophy of management before modern management theories and practices. In addition, Islam also sets an ethical code of conduct on how things should be done and serve as a guide to ensure that man manages endowed resources effectively and efficiently. Management, as it can be seen from an Islamic point of view, is a noble endeavor. Allah Almighty created every human being as a manager and controller over other creatures. However, to succeed as a good manager, there must be a proper way of managing. Ethics of doing the right thing in the right way in right place must be followed. Right from the day of human creation, Allah already defined the role of man on earth, established the code of conduct that governs man's behavior and makes man accountable for his actions on the day of judgment. Prophet Muhammad SAW and his rightly guided caliphs practiced Islamic management based on the divine code of conduct. Therefore, any act of planning, organizing, staffing, leading, and controlling organization must be guided by Islamic code of ethics, and every soul will be held accountable on the day of judgment for every action or decision. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.